Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the pre-market analysis and trade plan setup for Wednesday, September the 10th, 2014. For those that are visiting, my name is Doug McKay. I am the head moderator. You can find me at Doug_McKay, or you can contact me at d.mckay@stealthtrader.com. Each morning we come together in this pre-market session to go through our analysis of the market. I go through a macro to the micro view, and then we get into some more in-depth analysis, and I create my hypotheses, my trade levels, and my targets for the day. So before we do that, I do have to get the disclaimer out of the way. This information is for the purpose of educating members who want to expand the knowledge of the business. Trading is not for trading or investment advice. You are responsible for trades or investment decisions you make. Trading futures or any instrument involves risk of loss. Please consider carefully whether futures or options are appropriate to your financial situation. Only risk capital should be used when trading futures or options. Investors could lose more of their initial investment. Nobody at Stealth Trader is a certified trading advisor. We are retail traders operating within a self-organized lending environment. Past performance is not indicative of future results, and the trades that you see in Stealth Trader is for education purposes only. Please trade your own due diligence and trade your own trade plan. So let's take a quick look at what happened yesterday. I had a bit of a sell-off in the afternoon. So basically, we had bracketed this 1998.50. We were using 99.25 the day before, and we moved it down to 98.50 because of the LVN. We did have the 99.25 value area low just above it, but I chose the 98.50 because the fact that it had the LVN. Basically, we were using this as a slush zone above 99.25, get long into the naked VPOC, but you had to wait to be below 98.50. We opened the day yesterday at 98.25. Didn't even, we didn't even get an uptick. We basically got a open drive down, came down, and then our second level below is that 1994, the range low from the prior day. And of course, we were looking for any break below that to come down and hit our first target. Our first target was that 91.50. And that's really the number I was watching the last couple of days that I figured we'd come down to find buyers. And they basically, rotated in around that 91.50, and then they tried to, break back up above the VWAP and hold above and get into the lower distribution of the prior day. And we basically just, fought this 91 to 94 level most of the day. Then it looked like we were, finding some buyers with conviction, and they, rotated back up, tried to get back into the prior day's value area, and we rejected it. Basically we one-ticked it, and we reversed it, and then we had that big sell-off all the way down through our 88 trade area down to our target below that at 86.25, and then came right down to the lower side of that balance, and that value area low on the micro composite, and then found buyers and rotated back up into the 88, 89 area. This I told you guys to take a picture of, because this is actually a very good setup. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Is I said make sure that you take a picture of this right here. This is what we call a one-tick reversal of the IB. It can happen to the high side or the low side, but anytime you come down and you break the initial balance by one tick and you find responsive buyers, they're likely to get a decent rotation. And you did have a really nice rotation back up into that target up there at the 96. So, I mean, it was a pretty orderly auction. Still don't know what caused this basically, 10-point or greater sell-off down here. But that's trading. You never know when you're going to lose value. And obviously there's some, oh, I did want to show that. There was, obviously, you can see if you look at the relative volume down here, for pretty much most of the morning, then they kind of stepped away when we went sideways, and then they got very active. And look at how, how active the OTF was in this whole sell-off down here. So let's go through, take a look at the macro to the micro. You can see that the monthly trend is still very much intact. There's nothing showing that the trend on the long term has changed. On the weekly, we talked about this technical gap and the probability of coming down and closing this technical gap. To do that, we're likely going to come down into that 1171, 1167 and a quarter area. But overall, the trend on the weekly is still intact, although we're losing a little bit of slope and separation. On the daily, you can see that we got a bit of a rollover. We broke yesterday below the 9 EMA and came down and tested the 20 SMA, and we held, but so far today we've come down and we're trading below the 20 SMA. So we do have some weakness coming in. Remember, I still have this on the daily time frame. I still have this naked cross down here at 1946.50, and that's still a target for me once this trend has been violated. And this is the first chance that we've had that has shown some true weakness and a possible rollover on the daily since we had this pretty strong parabolic move up. Going over to the geometric chart, we talked about these two energy points right here. I pointed this energy point out yesterday. I did put an opposing fork in on the 4-hour time frame, downward sloping fork, and we had the energy point that I said to pay attention to could be the extension and the move down if we saw some weakness yesterday down at the 85, 50, 86 area. And then today, we've got this other energy point, which is at 1988, and we're basically sitting there right now. The key that you want to watch right now on the geometrics is whether or not we hold the lower line of the longer-term upward sloping fork. This is a fork we've been watching for a very long time, and we've now, after coming up and testing it and coming down, breaking and getting back inside of it, we're back testing it again. So if we break this lower line, I'd be looking for a move down today, down to test the center line of the downward sloping fork in that 1980.75, and I'm really looking at that 1981.50, 1981.75, and I'll show you that on the composite chart. Further weakness, we've got a possible energy point that we could hit today down at 1969.75 if we get some weakness. So that's something to pay attention to because it is down in that 1971 and a quarter, 1967 and a quarter area, that double distribution. Just keep an eye on that. Going over and quickly taking a look at the intraday trends coming into the RTH session. You can see that well, this is a beautiful example of a tech gap foobar, Mr. Sneaky, right here. So you got a bit of a downtrend starting. You've got a big move down yesterday with that sell-off, created the foobar on the 4-hour. Then we get a Mr. Sneaky, and they go sideways, and then they come up, and they close the gap this morning with the move up into 91.50 area. But as it stands right now, we have a possibility of a trend starting on the 4-hour. So until we get back above that 91.50, this trend is and will remain intact. Going down to the 30-minute, a little bit of a different story. We've got a sideways consolidation, a little bit of a move up, and then come back down. No real trend to be showing on the 30-minute. On the 5-minute, you can see the trend that we we're looking at is still intact on the 5-minute, and we're kind of trying to break above the 9 EMA here, but right now we've lost a little bit of slope, a little bit of separation, but the trend is still somewhat attacked on the 5-minute. Okay, so let's go and take a look at the big picture. So I'm going to move bring yesterday's day into the profile. Doesn't change, much here, except that the overall VPOC shifted down to 1995. So the microcomposite VPOC has now shifted to 1995. Which coincides with the last 2 days as they're trying to hold value there. So if we get above this 9150, we've got the value area low just below us, or just above it at 92. So above 92, I'd be looking for a rotation back up into this 95. Last 2 days, and prior to bringing in yesterday, if I bring yesterday out of this profile, you can see that everything's all about that 2000. But with yesterday's move down, I've got to pay attention to the VPOC shift on the microcomposite down to 95. But we can see we've been trying to hold value. In fact, I can, see if I bring all of this in and this in, you can see that, that 2000. So between 95.50 and 2000, I expect to play ping pong above there, but nothing's going to help until we get above this 92 and above the CLVN at 91.50. We're currently trading right below the CLVN at 98, in around where they tried to hold value after breaking out of the bigger picture microcomposite. You can see that the value area on that larger time frame microcomposite is there at the 78, 75, 79 area, and then once they broke out, they were trying to hold value, outside of the break at 89.25, and we're currently trading, just below that. We've got a naked close from yesterday up at 89.75. Now, the problem we've got here is this area of the profile is very blunt, and there's not a lot of, price action that we can say is dominant for both the buyers and the sellers. So inside of this area between 91.50 and 84.25, I would even take it down to 83.25. Remember that that 83, the low of the day, came down and tested the value area high from the microcomposite after we broke out of the longer-term balance. So between 84.25 and 91.50, I'm looking for a lot of chop here as we mature the auction, and it's going to be very tough. You're going to have to go to the shorter time frame to figure out where your levels are. Just be cognizant of the fact that we could get stuck in the wicks here. You've got two things. You've got a blunt profile, and you've got undetermined auction or unauctioned territory with the wicks. And you can even, I would say, even extend that up to the 92 area, the value area low of the microcomposite. But I'm going to use 91.50 simply because we could possibly come up and take out this naked close at 89.75. It's really, once we break below the 84.25, I think they make a move to test that value area high and the range low from yesterday at 83.25, and the number I've got as my target below range, my first target below range, and outside of value is down here at 81.75 with that 1980 just below it. Below 1980, look for a test of the 78, 75 area, and then if we break below that, there's nothing holding us up, and this would be the move that we're still coiling here. We had a little bit of a range extension here, but we're still inside the range. But once we break below that 1980 and get inside of that prior value of the longer-term microcomposite, then there's really nothing holding us up, and the move down to the 71.25, 67.25 is got to be on your mind and on your trade plan. So just keep the key line in the sand is at 78.75 to 19.80. Right now, I'm just expecting chop here. Once we get above 92, then look for the rotation up to 95.50 and 2,000. I think we come back up into balance and hope to hold value. I'd be watching to see if we get, for the last 13 days, if we come up and we start trading in around 2,000 and you see that that microcomposite VPOC shift back from 95.50 up to 2,000, then I'd be looking for a move up into the 2002 area, but really up into the 2005, and a run to take out the RTH all-time high at 2010 and equalize that all-time high that was put in at the Globex at 2011. So let's go and take our numbers and move our overnight numbers and put our levels in for the day. So overnight, we have an overnight high up at, I'm going to get my ES up as well. Where'd my ES chart go? Shoot, sorry, I mistakenly closed it out. Let me just reopen it here. All right, sorry about that. So we've got a overnight high right now at 92.25, which is essentially one tick above our VPOC from yesterday. We have an overnight low down at 85.50, and we have a VPOC overnight at 87. I don't think that's going to change now. And we're currently trading in this lower distribution with the LVN at 89.50. So you've got an LVN, I'm sorry, a value area low at 89.50. You've got an LVN at 88.75 with the value area low at 89. So for me, this is going to be a key area just above us. And I'm going to use it just as I always do when I have two numbers that are close. I'm getting long, I got to be above 89.25, and my first target is going to be that 91.50 with the naked VPOC and the overnight high up here at 92, especially if they do that and leave this 85.50 alone first. This is going to be a key to getting long here and feeling good about the trade, because if we go down and take out the 85.50 first, then come up here, I think it's going to be a weaker move. I still think you can take the trade, but it's going to be muted because the 96% probability shifts down to the 38%, or is it 28? 28% probability of taking out both the high and the low. Just going to get rid of this so I can look at this this chart here. So on the low side, we're going to open up in this distribution around the HVN of 86.75 in this blunt area of the profile. There's really not much to guide you until you get down to this 84.25. And I really think that you can take this trade, but I would take it to the long side rather than to the short side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use it as a trade area, and I'm going to use it to get long, but I'm going to wait for the break of the 83.25. So I'm going to extend this this trade zone out between the two of them. I'm just going to bracket this whole area between 83.25 and 84.25, and I'm not getting long until we come down and reject and get back up over 84.25, but I'm not going to get short until we break below the range low from the prior day. And then I've got a clear target towards that 81.75 is my first target below range and below value, with a probability of continuation to take out the naked VPOC, and I'll be looking for responsive buyers to come in down here at the 1980. Below 1980, there's not much holding us up. but the first target I would be looking at is this 1979. That's going to be a trade area and a target. You know what, it's going to be a little bit convoluted here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this 80 and move it down to 78, 75, because I think there's going to be a little bit of a push through this 1980 because of the weight that I would put on the value area high of the microcomposite, the longer term. But below that, there's really nothing. I would put your first target here at 74 1/4. But there's really the main target below is going to be these two things, and I wouldn't even be trying to fade a move below that 78, 75. I think it's just going to be too dangerous because you've got very distinct and clear targets down here in the 67 1/4 and 71 1/4. And then the other side of balance down there, I wouldn't even put it. And it's going to be real tough. 63.50 is where I would put it. And then anything below that, I think we're down into a bigger move, down into the 59, but the number I would have my eye on is going to be all the way down at that 45.75. But I'm not anticipating that big of a move today. To the upside, above the value area high, then your first target is going to be that 91.50 CLVN, and then above 91.50, I think the buyers are going to get a little bit more aggressive, and we take out the overnight high, especially if we don't take out the overnight low before it, and then a move up, and I'd be looking for a move up into the 95.50. With the first possible resistance coming in at the LVN here at 96 1/4. And above, and I'm going to use 96 1/4, and the value area high 97 is the same thing. I'm expecting them to come up and test this LVN, but more likely going to test the value area high. But you know, I'll take the trade if I see responsive selling stepping in here at the LVN. There's only like 500 contracts traded there yesterday, and so we might see some, they might front run the value area high is what I'm trying to say. But if they break the value area high, then I'm looking for that move up, and the first target is going to be the 98.50. You know how important that number has been to us for the last 13 days. And then above that, it's all going to be about the range high in this 2,000 number. And I'm not even, I would trade, you know what, in fact, I'm going to change this as a target and make it a target in a trade area, because I would take the break above the range high. What was our week open? Our week open is still 2,006.50. So I would take, I would front run the range high and go up and look for a move. I don't think 99.50 is going to be something that's going to hold us. I think we're going to come and test the 2,000 1/4. Remember, that was where the microcomposite VPOC was before shifting yesterday, but for the shorter time frame, it's still up there, and I think that that's your target above value and above range. And then really, there's nothing really to hold us until we get to that 2002, and that's where I'd be looking for possible responsive sellers. But at this point in the thing, we get back into the 2000s. Really, we're going to see a move up to this 2005. And, the week high and the week open at that 2006 1/4, 2006.50. So I'll be using that as a trade area right there. Actually 2006.50, and anything above that, we've got target at 2008.75, making VPOC, and the all-time range high at the 2010, and of course, come on, draw for me. And of course, the main target, and something I still think, as long as we stay above that 1980 level, 2011, I still think is going to get equalized. And then there's extended targets at 2017 and a quarter and 2023.50 measured moves, and nothing changes there. Just take a quick look at the Renko. See where these levels line up. You can see that 1994.75 is, basically by the time we get there, it's going to be near our target at 1995.50. But our current center line is sitting right at that 89, and a quarter, 89.50, the value area low from yesterday, and we're rejecting it right now. A move down to take out and test the lower Keltner line is going to take us down where? Right down to our range low at 83 and a quarter. It'll be 83 and a quarter by the time we get there. So, pretty much sets the tone in terms of levels that have confluence with the profile. What do we got? 14. I'm going to finish up real quick. So what I'm going to do is just going to bring up the hypothesis that I've already brought into the quantum leap room earlier, and just for those that aren't in the room. Yesterday, after going up and making the high of the day at 1170, remember that was our week open. Our week open was 1170.40. And this was the level that we were trading off of yesterday. We traded for most of the first part of the day around the 1163 as we tried to hold inside of the value area of the microcomposite for the last 12 days. Then we had that afternoon sell-off, and we went down to the low of the day of 1155.80 before finding buyers. We had a VPOC shift, from 63 down to 58, and we closed at 58.60. So that's telling me that we've got buyers coming in to try to hold us into in this range, this balance area of the microcomposite. When I was writing this earlier, we were trading 1156. Where are we trading? We're currently trading 1157.20. So we're right at a key level. Okay, this 1157.10 is the value area low. So if we open below this, okay, we're going to be outside of range, but inside of, sorry, it's the other way around. I wrote this wrong. We'll be outside of value, but inside of range. Unless we're about, I'm sorry, just I was rushing this morning. I'm going to have to go to my charts after all. Let me just bring this up here. All right, I did have it wrong. Right now we're sitting right at this this value area low. Let me just bring the composite up as well. So we'll just do this real quickly this way. So we're currently just above the key CLVN at 1156.10, and we're trading right at the value area low from yesterday. So on the open, this is going to be a tough open because there's not much to lean against until you get below that 56.10, but I really think you've got to be below the 58.50, and the problem you have is you've got the overnight low down at 11.50. So this is going to be a tough open on the Russell this morning if we open up right here. But if we do get inside of this 57.10 and we don't take out and test the range low on the open, then see the response of buyers coming in. You could take the long into the overnight low. You've got the 96% probability, and you can use the value area low as your to hide against your edge for your stop for that move. But I probably wouldn't do that until we get an accept and see strong buying continuation in around the 58. I wouldn't try to trade this. The better trade to me is a rejection of the value area low and a move down to take out the overnight low. And we're outside. The key thing I want you to know is that yesterday we fell back outside of the microcomposite value area low, and that's up at 1162.20. And with the weakness coming in, we tested this. If we come down and break below the 56, 55, 80 area, I would think that you're likely to go down, take out the overnight low, but I'm really looking for a move down to this 53.80 as the key target below us. So the first target below range and value is that 53.80 because that's where we found value in the past between the buyers and the sellers. So, and then the other side of balance down here, I wouldn't be looking for anything until we get into that 1149, 1150 area. Remember, 1150 was that value area high of the accumulation zone that we were in, down value area low, I'm sorry, of the distribution area, that 1150 area. And then, now this area down here, the value area high is right there. So between 1149 and 1150. If we get below 1149, I really think we're going to get the bigger move. There's 47, there's interim targets at 47.60, 45.60, but I really think the move is going to take us down to close out the gap at 41 and down to this microcomposite VPOC down at 1139.20. If we get back inside of the value area from yesterday, then I'm looking for a rotation back up into the 62, 63 to test the value area low of the microcomposite, and then once inside of that, look for a destination trade, 80% value area play up here to the 63, 90, 64 area. The key resistance above us right now is going to be the 66 area. If we can get above that, then I'd be looking for a move back into balance around 71.20 with 1170 week open and the range high from yesterday all right there. This is yesterday's high. And then let's just take, I got 10 minutes, let me just take a quick look at gold. Gold, I said yesterday, if we couldn't hold that 52.50 area, that we're likely to go down to this 46, 47 area. They got as low as 47. I'm sorry, that's today. Got as low as 48.10. We've seen further weakness in the Globex down to this 47. If we can't get back above, and this should be deleted now. If we can't get back above this 52.40 today, and we go up here, we reject it, I take the short into 47. I'm still holding that swing gold position short that I got in on Sunday night and posted in the room. So we're seeing some weakness, and it still leads me to believe that the sky is not falling on the indices yet. I think that we still are going to try to hold this value and try to creep our way back up and take and equalize the highs, but don't think it's going to be done today, and we could see some further weakness. We might have to come down all the way to that 71 1/4 to 67 1/4 before we find buyers with enough conviction to then take us up and make those take out those all-time highs and equalize the 1911 2011 and 2010 RTH and Globex full session highs on the ES. Anyway, that is going to be it. That will conclude our morning pre-market session. As always, trade well, trade safe, and catch you on the flip side.